All right, so who gets wiped out in a recession first? Well, first we have to determine what is a recession. A recession means that the economy is contracting for about 2 quarters, less spending, less confidence in a marketplace. However, sometimes a recession could be totally independent. In the best times of our economy, you could be in a recession. But let us get into a graph, which I believe are the first ones to be wiped out by a recession Godzilla that is definitely coming to Canada. Might be even coming to rest of the world, depending obviously where you live and how you stand. So let's get into the most vulnerable are the overspenders and emotional decision makers, which I believe that those people are like, they keep getting these promotions, right, at work or a job when times are good, right? They keep climbing those ranks in a corporate world or whatever the case might be, but they keep spending it all. They need a better place. They need a better car. They need better clothing. They need better of everything. And they constantly overspend and they spend over their margins on top of that. So when the tides shift, they're wiped out automatically because in their head, psychologically, they think, look, I've been doing this for a decade or two or however many decades or years, and they have been climbing, they have been getting these promotions, and they have been getting the money, right? Like raises. So technically they're thinking like, look, doesn't matter what happened, I can just switch a company or do something in order to get that promotion and keep moving forward. So I think it's the wrong approach, and trust me, they will be wiped out overnight. Now, level number two are the people in high debt, which means they acquired high real estate debt over the years. Obviously, we had that spike during the pandemic. A lot has happened. People went in either blindfoldedly or they went in by will, however they went in, but they have acquired a lot of debt. And with that is like carrying a lot of this personal debt, a lot of the debt on real estate portfolios and all of that stuff. And you just need a shift in economy, which takes a little bit of time, right? Everything takes time to accumulate, to to get into that bull trap. It takes a while, right? Most people don't get a stroke or a heart attack overnight, right? It takes a long time for their health to build up that stroke, even though they don't want to admit it, even though they think everything is fine and the signals are everywhere, but they keep going until boom, they get hit with a heart attack, unfortunately. So this is what happened. Many believed in that period of prosperity that they will not see high interest rates, that they will not see declining real estate prices, that it was all about them and they needed to acquire as much as possible in order to grow and become wealthy overnight. Well, it shifted. We are already in a recession. It has not been declared yet, but you can see it. Like, you're walking, in a shopping mall. Yes, people are shopping, but you see that people are tense, right? So, like, everything is tense. Every business you walk into, it's tense, right? So, I think this is one of the indicators that we have seen that build up, and now the recession is hitting. Now, those are the second people to be wiped out. It's already happening. Foreclosures are up, everything is up. So it's crazy, right? The third people, risk takers and speculative investors. So over leveraged on stock markets, maybe crypto, maybe even businesses and companies, startups and whatnot, right? Like they have invested a lot hoping that it will trigger, hoping that is their way out. They're hoping and they're banking and they're waiting. So while they're banking and they're waiting for stocks, crypto, and the startups to hit that jackpot, they're constantly getting in more debt. They're constantly trying to hold on to whatever they have on paper, technically not theirs, but on paper it looks good. So they're trying to hold on to that, burning their candles from both sides, literally, right? So it is very dangerous, right? Unless you know, but these speculations and these hopes, oh, next year is going to be better, next year is going to be better. It might not be. And what if it's not, right? So you have to answer that question. What if it doesn't hit, right? So it is very speculative, and I think those are the third people on my list, anyways. So fourth people, small business owners with high overhead, right? We see it all the time, right? So one of the major benefits with these small businesses is obviously location, location, location. However, with location comes high rent, um, keep up, right? So there's a lot of overhead pressure running a particular business. So the first ones to go usually are restaurants. If you know anything about anything, right? Restaurants can be very profitable in a good economy. People have a lot of money. They can acquire a lot of credit or a lot of loans. It's very cheap to carry. Well, when the things shift around, when the tide shifts around on the other side into a recession, then people are getting tight. People have other problems, right? They don't have the extra funds to spend in a restaurant. So restaurant, definitely. Then there are things like a gym, right? Like a lot of overhead, a lot of pressure. You need these subscribers, you need like a lot of subscriptions, right? So they tend to kind of close very fast, right? Because people mentally are not capable, even though it might help them to, continue going to the gym, but it's just mentally they're not there. So it contradicts, yes, but it like definitely gyms, 100%, a lot of overhead. Then luxury goods, luxury items, right? Like you have these bars, you have these spots that are very luxurious, high ticket priced, and when everything gets squeezed, right? They're the ones to go, right? Like sports cars, yachts, exotic vacations, timeshares, golf course memberships, all of that is on sale even today. Even today, half price, 80%. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Just get it off my back. I don't want that subscription on my back, right? Because it's eating, right, on my income and all that stuff. So then overly specialized workers and risk employees. So this is something very specific, right? We have through our education segments and careers, we have been taught one thing. Look, you have to specialize in something, and that you will be paid on, and you will be rewarded because you're special. And it is true. When the economy is great, most companies, most CEOs, they headhunt for specialized people for that brand new, fresh idea. And they're willing to pay that extra dollar because they can sell it to the masses and on and on and on and on, right? However, when everything is shrinking, we don't need something extraordinary. We need the ordinary to sell so we can survive. So usually those high paying position, specialized employees and people, they get fired very quickly. So the downside of that is that where are you going to go next? I mean, if you have been specialized for a particular segment, and now like where are you going to go? If you're like a specialist in creating games, let's say like games IT or something like that, like McDonald's is not going to hire you. Like, do you understand what I mean? And pay you $500,000 or $1 million. They'll pay you $17 an hour or whatever the minimum wages. So you like they go from extremely high income to an average or below average sometimes because they have no other skills maybe, right? So also those are the people to go. However, underpaid savers, asset rich, cash poor individuals, right? So and those are the people that like have a cushion, but they have that cushion that is not enough, right? So we said 2 quarters, so that's like what is that? Like 6 months, so half a year. Usually recessions or these downfall dips last for 4 to 6 quarters, so a year, year and a half. So if you have the stability for 2, 3 months, it might not be enough. If your overhead is here and you can carry it for a little while, it's fine because you have projected in a good time that you will need a month, 2 to 3 months to get that new tenant, to figure out a new employment, a job. But in a recession, everything is amplified so much, right? To find a good tenant might take you a year. So what are you going to do? You have to pay out of your pocket, which means you will have to either go into more personal debt, loan in order to carry that. Let go of the property in a recession means also losing money. So you're stuck. So those are the undersaved profile that definitely will see an effect if they have not calculated properly. Now let's go further. What is a survivor in a recession? So let's talk about who survives. Okay, so people that survive is usually those people are not in favor when the trap is being set up because they've been like people don't understand them because they sometimes see a recession or they see trouble ahead and they're usually scared. They have fear. um, they don't want to go where masses go, right? Remember, like the pandemic and COVID, everybody was buying a property. Doesn't matter if they had one or not, they were buying one, right? So um, these people, the survivors, usually can calculate, half a decade ahead, right? And they can say, like, look, this will change. So how will that look? So one good thing is to take a pen and a piece of paper and to calculate, to try to estimate, to try to have different outcomes, right? It's okay. Just set it. Different outcomes. What if this happens? I have this. If this happens, I have this. So put all these scenarios, 4 scenarios, 12 scenarios, what ifs and buts, right? So this is when it comes to survivors on the buildup, right? And then when it actually happens, these people that are stuck, like the people from the list, they're in the denial mode. Oh, don't worry about it. You're only about the doom and gloom. You're only about this or you're only about that. Don't worry about it. It will change. It will shift. This thing is only a blip, right? So the survivors are looking, they're like, oh my gosh, like I don't know how you're going to survive. And these people in a denial, only way to survive is if they go into more loans and debt. That's it, right? So the survivors are again like they try to save in that particular time or to set up their next year in a better manner. Maybe seek more of secure employment, right? Secure everything around them, right? Go back to their subscriptions that they already have. Try to negotiate a better deal with their cell phone company, maybe with their internet provider, with something like that. Like these things are very small, but they can add up. $100 a month, $500 a month, $1,000 a month in some cases. If you have like all these movie subscription providers, right? Maybe you can cut half of them, or maybe you can cut all of them and be content with one, right? So the whole point of this is like sometimes, by cutting that $500 a month or $1,000 a month, you don't have to earn that money. And in a recession, it is hard to earn that extra $1,000. I know it seems funny, and it might be funny, but believe me, it is hard when nobody will give you a chance or in employment. It is hard to earn extra money. So then the safety net, right? Survivors know that they need a safety for a year, right? Like I know it is high, but that's that safety blanket, right? Easy to calculate. Example, if you need $5,000 a month, right, to survive monthly, so spread it out. So that's $60,000 a year. So some of the survivors will have that fund in their savings account just sitting there. And even the bankers, when you walk in, it's like, why is this cash here? What are you doing? And all of that stuff. It doesn't make any sense. Cash is dead. It's dead weight. Well, I understand, but in a recession, cash is king. All right. So then moving on forward, if there's like, let's say a couple or a family and two people employed in that family, the best case scenario is if one of that couple, husband or a wife or a couple partner, will be able to carry all or most of the costs monthly, then you're pretty safe. So even if one loses that particular job, the other one can carry 80% or 100% of the ongoing monthly costs, right? So, and then obviously making rational decisions. If you don't need the extra brand new $1,000 monthly payment, you don't get one. If you don't need to upgrade for something in order to benefit somewhere else, you don't do the upgrade. You only upgrade if it will bring you profit. That's it, right? An instant profit, not the profit that, like in 10 years is going to hit. Everything will hit in 10 years. No matter what you look at, it will hit in the next 10 years or 20 years, whatever, as long as you're in the market. Now, obviously, we can discuss investing and looking for these deals when you have savings and it doesn't bother you at the moment, and then you sit on it. Could be stocks, could be crypto, could be real estate, could be all of the above, right? As long as it's not eating into your plate every day, into your food and your family every day, you're pretty safe. Having said that, this obviously is different for each individual and is different for everybody's situation. But I just wanted to throw it out there. Maybe you can find yourself on this list. Maybe you can calibrate. Maybe it's still not too late to calibrate yourself and to kind of adjust yourself for the next year to come. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to continue on the channel, click on the videos that are on the screen, and I will see you in the next one.